Hello and welcome to another episode of DK Live Podcast. Every Wednesday, we're doing the DK Live Podcast. In this podcast, we always bring the industry professionals and in the special field, and we talk about the current topic of the interest, what is trending right now. So today's, I'm very excited that our today's trending topic is and the top trends of the new normal in business. So I'm very excited to announce that today we have an amazing guest with me. That is Adam Hart. Adam Hart, welcome to our show today. How are you doing today?
Excellent, Deloar. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure to have you, Adam. So, Adam, before going to our main topic today, top trend for new normal in business, I want to request you to please introduce yourself, who they don't know about who is Adam Hart. Please talk about yourself a little bit.
Sure. And again, thanks, Deloar. Appreciate you having me on. You're doing a great job. I
Thank
see
you.
you really being very consistent with this. And that's really what business is all about, right? Being consistent. So
Yes.
if you ever get a chance, read that book, Good to Great. It's all about being consistent.
Great. Yes, that's right.
So my name's Adam Hurd. By trade, I am a financial planner. I've been in the financial services industry for 22 years. So I started when I was 5 years old, just so you all know. Um, so yeah, I've been in financial services a long time. I'm also the president of a local chamber of commerce. I am a founder of a group called the Long Island Networkers. We have almost 2,700 entrepreneurs that follow us. Outside of that, I serve on the board for a lobbyist group called FinSecca New York, and that is we work with the politicians, both sides of the aisle, to kind of tell them why the financial security for the American citizens is so important. I'm an ambassador to United States Congress, but overall, on a day in, day out basis, I am dealing with small business owners, whether it be for their finances, their local concerns, their national concerns. So that's really who I am, what I do. I am a father. I've lived, born and raised in Long Island, never left. I have two children. I have a wife. She works for NYU, so thank her for everything she always does. And I have two amazing children that just light up my day each and every day. So that's a little bit about me, Delore.
What an amazing introduction about yourself, Adam. Really, we appreciate you. And I always follow you in the Facebook, all the social media. I see you are having fun in your life. You have a tremendous success in your business and in your family life. We can see that and we can learn from that. I'm really happy to have you over here today. Okay, so let's go back to our topic, top trends for the new normal in business. Before we go dive in deep, and we like to touch basically the general discussion about COVID, during the COVID and post-COVID, what is happening with the business. Let's do a little bit general discussion. Adam, if you can just lay out a little bit during the COVID, what kind of struggle where we have in the business and what kind of business is re-emerge, and after COVID, what you see the trends. Let's do a general overview a little bit.
Okay. That's a lot. So we're talking during COVID, after COVID, what emerged. So,
Yes.
obviously, listen, nobody was prepared for this. And one of my jobs that I do for a living as a financial planner is we plan for the best, we plan for the worst, right? So I have a lot of business clients, and obviously with the Chamber of Commerce, I dealt, and I was on the board of two different chambers right here in Long Island, and we had a lot of people that just were not ready for this in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, nobody was ready for it, but what really happened was it put a strain on how do you run your business at this point, right? So it was a strain on capital. I didn't have money to run my business. It was not me personally, but I'm just saying in general. It was a strain on your staff and your talent. How do you keep them safe? How do you bring them into work? How do you then serve your customers and your clients? So there was a point in time between March and July of 2020 where everyone was kind of running around with a chicken without a head, trying to figure it out. Very luckily that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, really stepped in and they gave some resources and some guidance. They also released money from the PPP program. So I personally had about 90 people got sent over to one of my resources at a bank. They were able to fund somewhere in the neighborhood of like $20 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans to keep these businesses afloat. So during that time, when they had to adjust, I saw two main things happen. Either businesses said, you know what, I'm going to sit back and wait until this figures itself out, or they said, you know what, I'm going to look at my business and see how I can pivot and how I can use this as an opportunity to grow my business in a different way. And what happened, and that leads into what happened afterwards. I saw many businesses that unfortunately maybe shouldn't have been in business in the first place, and this pandemic made them realize that, hey, I'm really not a business owner, I'm more of an employee. So I did have a cohort of businesses that called me and just said, hey, I'm done. I'm going to close the doors and I'm going to go work for somebody else. And they actually turned out being happier that way because they were very stressed running a business.
Yeah, it's closing down, right?
Yeah, so they closed, many businesses closed down. Now, I saw the other ones that they really figured out new avenues in their business and they became more successful. They figured out different ways of doing business, different services they could offer. I know a limousine company that they ended up doing grocery shopping for the senior community, which they've never done that before, but it worked out really well and it added a new service to their existing business, and it was a very successful business. So that's what I saw afterwards, was many businesses really saying, all right, how do I pivot? How do I expand my business? How do I grow it and change? And then currently, you're asking about currently what are people doing? I think that's a lot what we're going to talk about today, about these trends. That's really why I felt it was an important topic. Everyone's saying the new normal, right? But there's a new normal in business, and I've gone ahead and done some research. I have some great resources. We've looked at some surveys and things to really show, and we're going to talk today, I think, about 3 of the top trends that we're seeing in business and how we should really look at our businesses and how do we utilize these trends moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. So pre-show, we discussed about that a little bit, that you're thinking that 3 important business trend. We see the e-commerce, number 1. Number 2 is business offering virtual services. And as we're doing right now, that is Zoom, we did Zoom before, but not this level. We are doing Zoom for everything. So, and the number 3 is remote work trend. So these 3 we discussed pre-show. So let's touch base one by one. I'm going to come first the e-commerce trend. Let's talk about a little bit e-commerce trend.
Okay. So look, I mean, e-commerce has been around a long time, right? Luckily, I started my career in 1999 when the e-com bubble was exploding, right? So yeah, e-commerce is nothing new. What's new about it is how do we use e-commerce as a business owner, okay? And one of the biggest things is there's a study that was done that there's a 20% projection of growth with e-commerce next year, 20%. So for the overall industry in the United States of America, have a 20% growth is, I mean, that's pretty incredible to even consider we're going to grow that much more again. The real need for e-commerce, it's not necessarily just that you're selling stuff, okay? Because that's what a lot of people think about e-commerce. What you really should try to kind of separate the noise and think about is, how do I give my customers or my clients a seamless way and a seamless experience of doing business with whatever you do, okay? I don't care if you're a real estate agent like Deloar, if you're a financial planner like myself, if you're a baker, or if you're a plumber. If you can find through e-commerce a way to make this experience seamless for them, that will help your brand, that will help your business. Now, one of the ways to go about doing that is simply your website, right? Most businesses have a website. How many of the people watching this today or at another time, how many people have talked to their web designer, or they do it themselves like many people do? How many people have made sure their website is mobile friendly? Okay, having a mobile friendly website is very important because many people are doing their business on their phones now, right? So that's one of the ways. Another thing is, when you're doing your e-com, you have to make sure in the seamless part of it that you have simplicity. So you have a way for them to check, buy something on your site if you're selling a tangible product, or for someone like me that I'm selling a service. There's a way on my website people can go and make an appointment. Okay, so they can go ahead, they can click, they can make an appointment today. Okay, and the thing is, in the past, you have to call or send an email or wait for something. So if you have the ability to do that right now, it's more important, because this is the big theme that we're seeing. Another trend that we're hearing is it's an on-demand economy. Okay,
On demand.
and what that means is, and the study that was put out, I'll have to find out who did it, but there was a study saying that 49% of consumers are trying to avoid leaving their home when transacting business. 49%. So let's call that half.
Almost a half.
So half of the people are trying to find ways to avoid having to go outside of their doors to do their business. I mean, even if it's someone that wants to see a house, Deloar, imagine if they can go and click and schedule an appointment online. I'm sure you do stuff like this, right?
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, that can be done for any industry, right? You can schedule things, and things have been around a long time. Make reservations, or buy a certain item that have it shipped. But I want whoever's watching this to think about their business and how can they add that e-commerce level to their business that will then either make it easier, less friction, and seamless for their clientele.
Yeah, so you just delivered in like a different aspect of the e-commerce. Honestly, I have an idea before that. Okay, e-commerce means like, okay, you just go website, you start shopping, right? So that was, I was thinking, actually, whatever you just told me, that's clicked my mind that, yeah, I do real estate. So when people go to my website, they click on the button for the appointment, making an appointment. And that is the way to communicate also, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so like we use the app called Calendly, right?
Yeah.
Calendly we use. So that is interesting. So something, just I learned something new. Okay, thank you so much, Adam.
You're welcome.
So now next one we're going to be talking about, let's talk about that business offering virtual services. Before it was a little bit practices here and there, like Zoom was there, but other platform was there. Right now, because of the COVID, during the COVID, some business completely went to virtual, right? So let's talk about a little bit that trend. What is happening with that trend?
Yeah, and like you said, again, this is not something new. I mean, me personally, I changed my practice to a virtual practice. About 75% of my practice went virtual back in 2016. I had my second child. I wanted to be more of a dad, and I said, I want to make this more accessible for my clients, but also where I can live my life as well. And that commute time can really, it can be tough. So virtual services, the United States Chamber of Commerce is putting this at one of the top of their list, saying that there is a tremendous increase in demand for overall. Okay, no matter what you're offering. I mean, I know a chef right now. So how do you have a virtual service as a chef, right? Well, virtual service doesn't mean you have to sell something virtually again, right? This chef, what he's doing is every day he's going on Instagram and TikTok and he's showing his kitchen, he's showing his staff, he's showing his food. That's virtual, right? That's what that means. So again, it's trying to change your mindset about these things, e-commerce or virtual, right? What is it really a way to do? It's a way for you to pivot your business or expand your business, right? Going virtual doesn't mean you throw your hands up in the air and I'm never doing what I did before. It's an addition to what you're currently doing. Okay, so if you can find a way that, hey, how do I pivot my business by offering some kind of a virtual service or expand my business to offer a different way of doing it, it can really enhance your offering to whoever's buying your product or service, right? The other thing is that when you think about business, right, it's always been a very formal thing. I mean, I used to wear a suit and tie when I worked back in Manhattan and everything. And now, I got a sweater and a shirt and that's it. And it's very, very different. We're in a different world now where business is becoming less formal and more personal. Okay.
That's right.
So when you offer some type of a virtual service, okay, it allows you to build more of a relationship with your clients. Okay. And what happens is the reason you're able to build a relationship with them is now you have more opportunity for interaction with them. So I'll take my business, financial planner, right? 642. 4 and 2 are my meetings. You have 4 meetings to build your plan and 2 annual reviews, right? Well, in the past, no person was going to come to my office 6 times a year. They're not going to drive to my office in East Hills 6 times a year to meet with me. I'm not that special. I'm not that handsome. They don't want to do that, right? But by offering a virtual service, they are willing to do that more often. So whatever you are doing, I mean, even if you're a plumber, right? So a plumber, you have to go to the house, fix the pipes. Well, if you offered a virtual service where you can jump on your phone and show them, hey, here's the house and here's what's going on. What do you think? That's a virtual service. You know, I have a doctor right now. She's a physiologist, and she is doing telemedicine.
Telemedicine, yes. I do with my doctor too. Yeah.
Exactly. So there are ways that you can increase your interactions with your clients. You can start building more of a relationship and be less formal about it. So that's really what we're talking about with the trend of virtual services. It's really about more connection with your audience.
Yeah, that's actually true, because we do day-to-day business right now. Doctor, all kind of professional, they are doing that video service, right? The video, all everybody has the smartphone, right? We have the smartphone. We just get the phone on, and then we can start talking about that. Okay, so let's talk about now the remote work trend. A lot of, especially you see that Apple, Amazon, everybody started the remote working. Facebook, now a lot of office in Manhattan, they are doing remotely. Still, they are doing not 7 days, maybe 1 or 2 days need to come office, and 5 days like a remote. So, what do you think that trend about that remote?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, we didn't have a choice at a certain point, right? So many people who went into an office that were considered non-essential workers, right? They really didn't have a choice. They were told you got to go home. So, you know, remote work has been around as well, but we kind of sped this up a decade of like, all right, we're forced into doing it. So there was another study done, and most people went back in full this September of 2021. So there's a survey done, and the survey was with people that never did remote before and now did remote. So 57% of those businesses said that they are going to continue offering remote work, even though they're allowed to have 100% of their workforce back in. They said 50% of them are going to offer that. Now, here's the thing is, the second part of the survey said that of those 50% of the people, 75 or 50% of the businesses, 75% of them said that for 2022, they are going to increase their spending on technology so their remote work could be even better. Okay. So that's a thing we have to consider, because we don't want our businesses to be left behind. Okay. And if your competitors are offering remote work to their employees, what happens is it's proven that increases morale. Okay? And it also will allow you to attract better talent. Okay, so you have to think about that as your business is, if you are trying to hire, which everybody is having a difficult time hiring right now, if you were able to offer a remote work position and your competitor does not, you may look more attractive than the other offer. And then what will also happen is that employee will be happier to work for you, right? So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone in that instance. And then the other thing is, listen, like I said, I've been virtual, remote. I've been doing that for 5 years. I still have an office. I'm a fiduciary, so I'm legally required to have one, and I have it with other staff, and I share with other people. But you can actually, by doing this remote work, you can reduce your overhead and your expenses. Okay?
That's right. Yeah.
We are in this December. We changed our lease around. We're going from 60,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet.
Wow, half that.
We're saving about $700,000-$800,000 a year in our rent. Okay, and that's because we were able to send people home, and they were happy. It's not like we sent them home and they were miserable. They were like, "This is great. I can work in my pajamas." Like, yes, you can. So the problem with that is many traditional business owners are not comfortable. Like, someone's going to go home, they're not going to do their job, there. I don't know how to manage somebody that way. The other thing is the culture. There is a culture that comes out of being together in an office, and ideas spring from that. So what I tell a lot of my clients or people in my Chamber of Commerce that are struggling with implementing something like this, I said, do a hybrid option, much like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So offer a hybrid option where maybe you even try it on Fridays, right? Just, all right, we'll try it on Fridays, and every Friday we'll do it. And if that works, you try it on maybe Monday and Friday.
Mm.
And what happens is the way it works is by having your tools, okay? So when we work in office, we have tools, right? There was a point in time we didn't even have email, okay?
That's
Maybe
right.
people watching this don't remember that time. I'm old, but you know, what happens is we adapt, right? So if you're able to implement a lot of these tools, like look at this, we're having a podcast virtually. Me and Deloar are not even in the same room.
That's right.
So I have meetings every Monday. I have 4 meetings with my team, and I have people all over the country, and we get our work done. I can monitor them and see what work is being done through the cloud. So for those of you who don't know, cloud is an operating system that you can have all your work, all your files, all your meetings sitting there, and everybody can see it live, and it updates as it's being done. So that's why we're seeing 75% of those people or those businesses that are going to continue to be remote, they're investing more money in technology so they can be more efficient about it. So the point of this is don't miss out on the opportunity to, number one, try it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number 2, make your business more efficient. And number 3, make your employees much happier and be able to attract better employees.
Okay. We just have a question from the Facebook user. I don't know the name. Jennifer is asking one question. Excuse me. Follow-up question from the trend. Like a lot of business as moving to the virtual, right? Virtual or remote access. Now, is it better to combination of virtual and in person, or you think that completely is going to be shifting in the future to virtual? Like not all the industries, but some of the industries they can do everything virtual. What do you think?
Yes, no, that's a great question. So whoever asked that, very, very good question. So we don't believe we'll never go 100% virtual. Okay, it's just impossible to do so. There always has to be a place where things are held, whether it be your files, your systems. There's always going to be humans that need to be in a location. Okay, so we don't think that there's ever going to be a complete adoption of 100% virtual. There may be some industries that can do that, but I mean, I know one industry. They're an IT company. They deal with every one of their clients. Okay, but you know what? In order to get their clients, they have to go out and meet them face to face. They actually have 4 people sitting in a room. They're over in Westbury. They have 4 people sitting in a room together doing that. They also have remote people working in Florida and other places, but it's very hard to fully go remote. You're always going to need something that's the core of that company.
Yeah, exactly. I also agree with you because let's say, for an example, think about the Amazon, right? Amazon cannot go everything virtual. They have to have somebody in person as well, and always face to face. Virtual could be like for different business, different ways, but some of the business is better to have combination. I completely agree. So right now I have another question from Michael, Facebook.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back. So this is
okay.
I have my research in front of me. So there was a study done, Staples Workplace Survey from 2019, and it says right here, it says, also others have productivity concerns. Moreover, some jobs require an on-site appearance like an in-service work. So remote work is likely going to be more ubiquitous, but we're not getting rid of it entirely on job sites. So that's from a survey that's done by Staples Workplace.
So let's Michael, another user, Facebook user, just asking a question that okay. So probably he's thinking as like he's starting his own business. He did not disclose that, but maybe he's thinking, hey, the trend, looking at the trend and what is happening in the COVID and after COVID, a lot of new business developed actually. That especially the cleaning, right? So a lot of new business is developing. He's asking, give me some examples of the business can be doing very good in this situation after COVID or still we're in the COVID.
So more like business. So I'll give you an example, and this is, again, I had my research. I always do. This is what I do. Research.
Yes.
Right? So the United States Chamber of Commerce did an actual study, and I'm just going to read this off to you. Great question there, Michael. So it's almost like you knew I had this research in front of me, but I'm gonna read it. All right. So it says the pandemic has led to an increased demand for certain business types that are trying to offer virtual or remote services. Okay, particularly those related to technology, virtual health, and fitness. These also include cybersecurity, at-home fitness, food delivery, gaming, home improvement, and telemedicine. If you are considering starting a business or you're looking for ways to pivot or expand your business, look at these categories for inspiration.
Wow, you have the answer ready.
Yeah, so I'll repeat it back again. Cybersecurity, at-home fitness, food delivery, gaming, that's interesting, home improvement, telemedicine. So it's a great question, Michael. And we're recreating our economy, and there are other ways to go about doing business. It's a great idea, Michael. If you ever want to reach out to talk, let me know. And I have a lot of business owners. I call them hindsight businesses. Okay, hindsight meaning that they were created in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So there are a lot of businesses that formed in 2020 due to the pandemic. So if you ever want to talk, I have a group of those business owners that I could kind of share what they did and how they went from a corporate employee to starting their own business, or they turned their hobby into a business, or they quit their corporate job and did their passion. So I call them hindsight businesses just because they're started in 2020.
Thank you so much, Adam. We are almost the end of the podcast, and I really appreciate, Adam, for your all input, and you really delivered a valuable information with all the research you do. I know you do a lot of research, and that is the reason we're here today to discuss about this topic. Thank you so much, Adam. And we're almost the end of the show. And dear viewers, if you like to see this kind of program and the next which topic you want to see in the next podcast, please put it in the chat box. We'll try to bring the same kind of industry professional who is specialized on that, and we'll be trying to deliver whatever we could do in the short period of time. And you have any questions, other question, you always can reach out to us and you can put in the chat box. Thank you so much, and really appreciate for watching us, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.